Hello folks, welcome to OTD, also known as On The Deck, where you can get all the sports you need in 10 minutes. My name is Adam Orduna, this is my mom Gina.
He is the journalist.
She's the enthusiast.
Man, I am enthusiastic today.
Yeah, I'm a little...
play a finals.
Yeah.
I keep saying playoffs, it's finals.
Yeah, it's the finals.
We're past the playoffs.
Well, I'm very enthusiastic because I am rooting for the Dubs, Golden State, and they're up 2-0 right now.
I too am rooting for the Dubs.
Yes, I have no shame in that. I am highly rooting for Golden State. They have looked very, very strong these first two games.
Strong is barely the word. I mean, they look dominant.
They are really, they're working it. And even last year, it was the exact same thing. You know, they were up 2-0, and they went to Cleveland, and they lost the first one, and then they stole the second one.
Yep, to go up
3-1. And so then that's really when things changed. So we still are very early within the series. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
That's why you play a
exactly.
Series. Yeah, we get
right.
that.
And so, you know, players can get hot and cold. We have yet to...
Players can get injured. Players can get suspended.
Exactly.
People cry.
Exactly.
You call me a name.
Cry and complain.
You know, we know all that
People
can
get
happen.
injured, suspended, whatever. But we'll see what happens tomorrow as Game 3 will take place. So we're going to talk about our thoughts on the first two games, and then we'll give our predictions for the third game and see what happens there. The first game was just awesome to watch. It was started out a little slow for Golden State. Cleveland came out hitting. J.R. Smith was hitting that first corner three.
I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so it was one of those situations where they looked good. The Cavs were rolling, and Golden State started off slow, and then all of a sudden they just decided to start playing. And then pretty soon, by the end of it, it was a 22-point victory.
113-91.
Right, and so... Then we fast forward to Game 2, still in Oracle, or at Oracle, and it was similar to the first game. It was kind of teeter-tottering a little bit, but then all of a sudden we got to the second half. Golden State, basically midway through the third quarter, they just started pulling away, and then by the end of it, Ty Lue just started pulling the starters.
4 minutes left in the game.
And then it was a 19-point blowout for Game 2. So now we fast forward a little bit to Game 3 tomorrow. We will get to that. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on some of the players and who you've been excited to watch, who's been impressive, etc.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when we did our preview, we talked about who could be MVP. And my dark horse, if the Cavs won the series, which neither of us said they would, but if they did, was, you know, obviously LeBron. But I thought, you know, Kyrie or Kevin Love, and I said if J.R. Smith has one of these phenomenal series where he's just banging the shit like he did last year.
Right, averaging 20-plus points,
Right, you know, maybe getting good steals.
Sure.
Maybe he could have an Iguodala kind of thing where he becomes, a couple of years ago, where J.R. Smith gets it. Well, let me go ahead and say, if anybody who watches the show knows anything I predict is wrong. J.R. Smith has not even bothered to get out of bed, get out of his pajamas and put on his uniform. Yeah. Because whoever has put on JR's uniform is not J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is MIA. He is literally doing nothing.
Correct.
Zero, zip, nada.
Right.
De nada, nothing, mijo. He is doing not one thing to help his team.
It's true.
I think he hit like 2 buckets in the first game. And then nothing. And then I think he might have had 0 points in the second game. No steals, no rebound, no boxing out, no points.
I think he played 14 minutes with 0 points.
People are giving Kyrie giving him the business about, I almost said a bad word, giving him the business about playing too much iso ball. Who's he going to pass to? If I'm Kyrie, I'm not passing the ball to J.R. Smith either.
Well, you know, my thing is that's on them. They've got to step up. You know, the big thing the whole year for LeBron is, I don't have enough help. I don't have enough help. Well, you know what? You maybe need to figure out other ways to try to do some, you got to figure something else out, because you've got Kyle Korver, who's a sharpshooter. You got Kyrie driving shotgun. You do have Shumpert and Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith and Kevin Love. You've got plenty of guys to work with. You just have to make sure that those guys do something. You've got a roster. You guys walked through the week east, as we call it. You guys sandbagged your way, even got to the 2nd seed. That's how badly you sandbagged. You guys didn't play up to your potential all year. So now you guys are up against a real team, like Golden State, who does play team ball, who does play real defense, who is taking it seriously, and you guys aren't doing anything.
Well, they're not ready.
You can't just flip the switch and then all of a sudden have it just work out. That's not how it goes.
Speaking of that, that was the right words, because if you guys remember, both January and March were terrible for the Cavs.
Terrible.
And there was no defense, which is how they ended up losing first.
Exactly.
And LeBron said, we're going to turn on the defense when it gets to playoffs and finals. You can't, it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
It's like being the varsity team playing the freshman team.
It is.
That's what's them walking through the West, and then you start believing I'm good.
Exactly.
And you run up against the team that's had to battle.
They ended up 22nd or 23rd in overall defense in the NBA, and there's only 30 teams.
I mean,
so what does that tell you? You've been getting away with it. Now it's the actual finals, and you guys have been cold. You've been waltzing through, lackadaisical. Kyrie hasn't been around. I love Kyrie.
Kyrie's my favorite player on the Cavs.
It's me too. Where's he been? Like you said, JR, where has he been?
He's at
Shumpert,
the hotel.
what have you been doing?
I'm not Shumpert.
I mean, honestly, the surprising outlier, Kevin Love, has actually been doing pretty good.
He actually had a really
Believe
decent
it or
game.
not, the first 2 games he's been doing all right.
I almost can't have to bite my tongue to say this, but I will say this. I feel like LeBron James has played well. He got a lot of heat. He has played very well. He got a lot of heat for looking tired. People are like, oh, he's worn out. I don't think he looks tired. I think he looks frustrated because he is right now. He's living in the world of, who's my boy from OKC?
Russell Westbrook.
He is figuring out how Russell Westbrook is always living. He is trying to play 1 on 5, like 1.5 on 5.
Right.
Because Kevin Love's giving him half and Kyrie's giving him half. In fairness to LeBron, when he's doing what he does, he actually looks good. He has had some. He dunked over JaVale McGee in game 1.
Yeah.
He did a couple of slam-jammas on the last game. I think LeBron is doing what he can.
Right.
Now, what he's not doing is stuffing Steph. Steph said, you're not going to slap me this year. My knees are good this year.
And
I'm not injured.
And just a quick point about that is last year, the fact that Kevin Durant is on the team is great. I'm happy for him. I think he needs to enjoy this process because he deserves it. He gave everything he had to OKC. You can feel the way you want to feel about how he handled the departure with Russell Westbrook, but at the end of the day, he did everything he could to get them to an NBA Finals, a Western Conference Finals, a league MVP.
He did.
He did everything for that city. It's his time to make this move, and he's performing at the highest level that he ever has. But with that being said, last year, 73-9, they were right there. It took a Kyrie Irving 3 and a LeBron James jumping from half-court swat for them to win the game.
Wait. And in addition to that, it took an injured Steph Curry, which, by the way,
he
folks,
he was injured the whole postseason.
It took LeBron getting the Dark Knight kicked out.
Yes, Dark Knight,
and their rim blocker, Bogut, to go down.
Andrew Bogut was
All
gone
of that had
for
to
2
happen
games.
for the Cavs to pull out a last-second Game 7 win.
Right.
So don't hand me KD saving them. That's not what's happening.
Exactly. They were already going to win it last year. Yeah, the Cavs should have lost it last year, and Golden State should have had 2 back-to-back, even with all the things happening. And everyone was talking about Draymond Green basically winning the Finals MVP.
Draymond will tell you he felt like he lost the Finals.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Our point is that with KD now joining the Golden State Warriors, and they are playing at a high level, playing unselfish basketball, really actually playing defense, getting back in fast break, running the floor on offense. They are going to do what they do, and if Golden State can continue to keep it up and don't have a letdown game, and even if they do have a letdown game, I don't see them dropping off the face of the map.
No.
Cleveland's got a big uphill battle because they are down 2 games, and that's really tough to come back from.
Well, I think what we've seen is prediction time, isn't it?
Yes.
I think, we have a minute. I think what you are seeing, though, is LeBron James, I'm going to give the man credit. First of all, personally, I don't have any ill will. I don't know him. And what I do know about him, I think he's politically active. He's apparently a great dad. He gives to the community. He's sending 1,100 kids to college on his dime. I commend all of that. I'm just talking about as a player. But the one thing we've never done, how he conducts himself. But his game, LeBron James is doing everything a human being can do. He is carrying dead weight behind him. Now, maybe that dead weight is because he talked about him like dogs all year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if you were one of the teammates and all you've heard is that, I'm sitting pouting on the end of the court because I don't associate myself with them, maybe it's a little bit coming to bite you back in the butt a little bit.
Please remember that he said they're not tough. I'm tough.
Exactly.
I'm a football guy. I mean, come on.
At some point in time, if you're the teammate, you're sitting there saying, hey, man, it is what it is. It's your show. It's on you, and you go ahead and do it. Now, that's not necessarily fair to everybody else, but hey, as a leader, I don't know how much I would respect that. But anyway, in these playoffs, in these finals, LeBron has been doing his thing. So we definitely have to give him kudos to that.
I don't think he looks tired. I think he looks frustrated because he's doing everything he can. But, you know, sometimes in military, sometimes, you know, they say the leader was killed by their own troops and they get in battle.
Right, that's a really good example.
I feel like these guys are kind of just giving up on it.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a really good example.
They're like, all right, you know, take us to the promised land, greatest of all times.
Exactly.
We're just your backup dancers anyway.
Right.
And I hope that doesn't happen in Cleveland.
Okay, well, quick question as we wrap this up here. Who is having the best finals up to this point? LeBron, Steph, or Kevin Durant?
And here's what I'm going to say. Taking the scores out of it and the wins and losses, all three of those gentlemen are doing their job.
Sure.
People, let's talk about Steph for a second.
Okay,
this man had a triple-double and 30 points.
Yes.
Back-to-back 30-point games. So I think Steph's actually getting a little overlooked because KD is swatting and smacking.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm going to give the edge to KD because he's literally played inside out, guard,
he's playing every position,
everything. So I'm going to give it to KD, but I think Steph is right up there.
Yeah.
And I think LeBron's doing all he can, but he's clearly not having the best final to give him whoop.
Right. Well, that's true. Okay, so let's go to the predictions.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this game tomorrow?
Game 3 in Cleveland. I want to give it to Cleveland because I don't want to see the series just end.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, if Golden State plays the way they've been playing, the Cavs can't beat them.
Right.
The only chance the Cavs have is a Golden State letdown and a Cav just surge.
Right.
So I'm just gonna trust in the basketball universe and say that it's gonna be Cleveland close, like by 5.
I'm also gonna go Cleveland. They're finally back at home. I think some of these guys are gonna be back to, you know, it's their own gym, their own homes, things like that. They're going to really try to play hard because they don't want to go down 3-0. And I think Golden State's going to play hard, but I think Cleveland's just going to outlast them.
By how much?
Probably 10 points. I think it'll be 10 points. But it'll still be a good game for the most part.
Who's good for you, KD, Steph, or LeBron?
Yeah, I'm actually going for Steph right now. I think he's really having a rebound year after last year. He was injured. So I think Steph right now is doing the best. But LeBron's killing it, and so is KD. Keep it up. We are really hot out here. iPad is overheating, so we don't have our closeout music, but we want to say we appreciate your time, folks. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, type in my name, Adam Orduna, and like our OTD Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter, and we want to say we appreciate your time, and we'll see you again, folks.
Thanks.